Hi guys, I'm Gosha from Cosmic Agency. Hello my friends. Today's video is a short conversation that I had with Yazhi some time ago. Actually, it's not going to be a conversation, it's going to be her speaking on the subject of Tulpas. Yes, and what are those Tulpas or Tulpas? I'm not sure how to pronounce this. It is, as she explains, the manifestation of our individual or collective ideas or thought forms. In a way, as she explains also here, everything in the universe, everything is a tulpa. We are the tulpa ourselves because we are the manifestation of an idea. So anything that manifests in an apparently exterior reality is a tulpa. However, here we'll be talking about the tulpa as manifestations of fears, the negative ones, and how it relates with the reptiles and even the Federation. And here on this topic of the Federation, I'm going to make a more detailed video very soon about them, how this organization is managing the Earth. We made the videos about that already before, but now again I will address this topic. But you have to understand that the 3D, our planet 3D world, is a sort of a place in which multiple ET races are using to experiment life supposedly, apparently, as one race, the human species. And they have been doing this for a very, very, very long time. And the whole idea of ascension, to me, ascending into 5D from the 3D, is not exactly how I see this right now. I really do not see them wanting to dismantle this playfield, to dismantle this playground for the souls, to have experiences, wanting to dismantle this and have us reach the 5th density status as everything else is outside the Earth in a supposedly 5th density. They don't want to do that. And whatever games and whatever battles are happening for the liberation of Earth, whatever else you are hearing about, yes, there are factions within the federations, there are factions within the cabal that are in disagreements with each other, and they are fighting over the control of this place. So yes, there are reptiles, there are reptilian fights, and there are rescues, and there are all kinds of positive actions being done for the inhabitants of the Earth. However, this is sort of as if speaking, about the animal welfare department within the larger government structure. Yes, there is an animal welfare institution and the department, and there people care about the animals and they do some good. However, we all know the government in itself is not all it is. And the same way here with the Federation. The Federation is like this galactic government, and there is so much more to it than just one or another separate individual department that might be even doing something supposedly positive for the human race. And not even supposedly, because the Reptilians have been in fight with the Federation for eons. They are their enemies, so to speak. They have been. So the Dracos and all that, Kingu Reptiles, have been in conflict with the Federation. So of course there are fights and battles there in between them. However, in the longer picture, in the bigger and more expanded picture, the Federation continues to be this huge government and manager over the Earth, and it will not stop being so. The whatever fights, whatever is going on, is just for the power and control and management of the Earth. It's not to necessarily liberate the Earth into the 5D status so we can be beautifully rejoining other interstellar races. I do not think that's what it's about. It's about moving the pawns within the chessboard. It's about shifting, their assets and maybe rethinking some plans about how to manage the Earth, but they will never withhold their management of the Earth. This is not what this liberation is about. The subject is much more complicated, and there are so many levels here to address, but one thing has to be sure: the Galactic Federation is not a love and light organization, and I'm saying this because I'm particularly angry at this point at the Federation. And why? They have officially, legally, won the battle against the Taigetans to finally, after so much effort, disconnect them from their access to the internet. This means we have temporarily, I believe so, lost the contact with the Taigetans, and we have no access to their information, we have no access to their updates, and this is because the Federation doesn't like what they are doing. And this for years, we have been saying this for years. When Svaru started making videos, well, Svaru through us making videos 3 years ago, the Federation was not very happy about that at all. We were giving, according to them, too much information, free energy and whatever, and now they are strictly of the opinion that they are breaking the Prime Directive regulations with several different things they do, and giving us information, that's one of them. They didn't like particularly the videos I made with Dale Harder, technical videos about the free energy reactors. That was way too much according to them, and generally they don't like how we are revealing the inner workings within the Federation, of their management methods with the humanity. They don't want to be exposed, they don't want to be revealed, and they know that the Taigetans, that's exactly what they are doing. They are revealing their methods. They don't agree with the Federation methods, and basically they want to put a gag on Taigetans. And they have managed for now to do that. We have lost the contact for them with them for now, and they are using these Prime Directive regulations, excuses and justifications to do that. This is basically some sort of a government tyranny, according to how we view this, because none of the information that we have revealed on the channel is detrimental in any way to the growth of the humans. Just the opposite. We are giving this information to empower the people, to give them back the knowledge, to give them back what they want to know, what they crave to know. This is their right. We are craving and hungry for this information. We want to know how things work. But according to them, we are giving them too much. And they contact people and they interfere with people, giving information to the public, whatever is in their interest. And that's exactly how the governments work. Can't you see? This is so obvious, and it makes me really angry. And I just want to say I will continue. I have so much videos to publish, and listen to me very carefully, Federation. There's going to be the way to continue for us this work, and there's going to be a way for us to gain access to Yazhi's knowledge. That's all I'm going to say at this point. But you cannot shut us down, and you cannot stop us, because I truly believe in this project. I truly believe that it is time for people to know certain things. We are awakening, and I'm very sorry if you want to be presented as a love and light institution and you are sending your emissaries out there here and there to present yourself, to present you in that way. Then be my guest. However, I'm going to do my best from my side to explain to people as much as I can how it really works and how it's not so black and white, because I don't want to say at the same time that it's all negative. It is not, and there are levels within the Federation that are very cooperative, that are very well-meaning, but sometimes they just don't know what's going on behind. And that's what we are saying. Those threats that the Taigetans have been receiving, and those warnings they have been receiving to remove themselves from the orbit, for example, for a long time, have been coming from the hidden levels of the Federation. No one even knows who they are. No one knows their names. They don't show their faces. It's like a one big gigantic institution. For example, YouTube. When you receive a notice, a strike from YouTube, you don't even know who it is from. You don't even know who to address. So it's how it is. The lower level of Federation, they are even helpful with certain things. So I don't want, again, this is not black and white. This is not light and love or negative sort of situation, because I also hear people saying the Federation is archons and demons. No, they are not. However, in this video, coming back to the video, you will see how the topic of Tulpas, these negative manifestations, actually links with this topic of the Federation. And you will see that the Tulpas are are something that could be an idea, could be just an idea created unconsciously or consciously by one person or a group of people especially. And if that idea is strong enough, it can manifest. It can manifest as physical reality, as physical beings. And those tulpas that are coming from the root of our collective unconscious, as it will be explained here, is something that is influencing the Federation itself. And how? Because, it is explained here, very fascinating topic, because, and I'm not sure myself, I fully wrap my mind around this concept, people are here in 3D and they have their equivalents in 5D as well, basically being the same soul. Which means that whatever tulpa we are manifesting here as humans from below, it is directly influencing through the connection of the same soul, those 5D people up there. And that's how these tulpas, which very often are negative entities manifested, that's how they gain access and start to parasite those 5D levels, because they are using a soul as a portal. Because soul is not just what you have here, it exists in many levels, even though you right now have your attention on your 3D being. But if you are infested with tulpas here, those tulpas can use you as a tunnel, as a portal to get to those other levels, to access those other levels of your soul, which exist on a 5th level, on a 5th density. And that's why as below as above. And that's why the Federation is just the extension of what's going on Earth, and vice versa. It's very connected. This concept of collective unconscious manifesting things also explains why, for example, there are peaceful Lyrian races somewhere in the universe that have no concept of anything negative, but still something bad happens to them. And why? Because those collective unconscious ideas travel among all the Lyrian races, because we all have the same collective unconscious. So if something is projected, it is projected over this web of the collective unconscious, and can manifest somewhere else in another Lyrian portion of that huge collective unconscious. And talking about those parasitic levels of the Federation, the thing is that they don't even know it. It's the same as here. When people have entities around them and they are influenced by those entities, you don't know. You think it's yours. You think it's something your own. But many times those entities whisper ideas to people's ears. They influence people. And it's happening the same way over there. You think 5D is a level where everything is solved and everything is just beautiful and everything is peaceful, but it's not, and it's very, very, very much related to what's happening here. And again, because it is related to what's happening here, just as there are negative thoughts and negative ideas circulating around humans, the same affects the level of the Federation in the 5D. But the same way, we also have beautiful things. We have beautiful people. We have beautifully well-meaning people here with beautiful hearts. And it's the same for the Federation. There are beautiful Federation members. There are beautiful Federation people who only have the best in their mind. And sometimes they are also confused. They don't know really the bigger picture. They don't know. It's like, it's so compartmentalized. It's the same as here. It's on the need to know basis. So that's why anybody who is defending the Federation as this or that, it's just, I feel it's a very reductionist and dualistic point of view, to the point of daring to say that it's a childish way of viewing the whole subject, because it's very black and white, while the topic of the Federation is huge, is very complex, and it cannot be viewed just from black or white perspective. We integrate all the perspectives here. We completely admit and acknowledge that there are beautiful factions within the Federations, beautiful Arcturians, Andromedans, helpful, cooperative, innocent. But then there is that hidden level of the Federation who is parasited, who has, and is going to be seen in this video, who is being parasited by the entities that we all have created, who are now controlling those Federation members to place certain laws and regulations to benefit the spiritual takeover of the planet Earth. And the thing is that they are not even aware of it. So that's what's frustrating. Now, to finish off this rambling portion of the video, is that it will be seen from this video, short video, that actually everything is a tulpa. I said that in the beginning of the video. Here we will mention only the negative ones, but everything is a tulpa. You are a tulpa of yourself, because everything is an expression and emanation of that one spark of an idea. That's all. I'm gonna leave you with the video. I spoke too much what I intended, and that's it. And I'm gonna see you in the next video, probably. Enjoy it.
As you know, humanity is not one species, but one more or less homogeneous species that holds many souls of many other species as one in 3D, all playing to be human. Those I always refer to as the extremely intelligent ones playing humanity for fools are no other than Federation races and people in power at the Federation that are there in 3D and here in 5D at once. This, I just said, is Sirius. Because that means that the Tulpas, humans, broken shoes, create and manifest, create a parasitation entity that is referred to by people like David Icke as the Reptilians, who control politicians from behind and are pure evil. Why Reptilian? Because it is a tulpa created by humans and all Lyrian races, based on their most primordial fear, the fear of snakes. That is projected onto the tulpa as a reptilian with a humanoid appearance. Now humans are creating the tulpa, but before them, the Lyrian races in space were also creating their own tulpas, and they go hand in hand and look alike, because humans and others are all Lyrians and share not only a common history, but also a common set of fears. That reptilian tulpa then parasites the politicians, who are the ones that actively exploit humans, the ones that give the orders to make humans suffer. Why? Because those politicians that look like any human are parasited by the tulpa, and tulpa can be just a series of ideas, and or can also be something very objective as a real thing or creature. But here I am talking about the reptilian tulpa behind politicians. But to make things even more complicated, we also have a real, tangible 3D reptilian race that is reptilian in nature, the Kingu, that are also being parasited by the same evil reptilian tulpa beings that parasite human politicians as well. So the evil is not coming from a species, but from a tulpa. So both human form or reptilian form are being manipulated by an evil tulpa that the people created. Because there are loving and positive reptilian races that are variant of Kingu, just as there are evil humans as well as evil Lyrians. A tulpa is formed when one or more individuals fear something in particular, an idea. As an example, let's create a hypothetical tulpa creature, an evil super rat entity that lurks in the dark. All you need is one person to fear that idea. Then that person really focuses its real thick fear on the existence of the hat rat taken from Hatman, a real tulpa creature. More and more people start to fear the hat rat. All their attention goes there. And as you know, everything you focus on manifests. That's very real. Law of mirrors. They start to form a creature that people take as real. Fear is a concentration of mental energy that focused all of the attention of the person onto that thing it fears, because it is a survival response. So it needs to give all its mental power to understand and observe that it fears, or it is convinced it will not survive. So concentrated fear attention is a very strong creative energy that is used to create negative things only, and it is known on Earth as lush. If you go focusing more and more on the rat, it will eventually get so much energy off the people that it will become a physical entity. And with even more energy, it can even become sentient and needing to feed in order to survive. And what does it feed from? What created it, of course, and that is fear. And that is why dark evil entities need lush and eat fear. That's why they need to terrorize people and the little children. That is what keeps them alive. Lush is thick, tangible, concentrated fear. And to finish my point, as I have explained before, people are in several densities at once, simultaneously. So in effect, the people who are in charge on Earth, those in deep cabal, are also starseeds full of parasites, evil tulpa ideas and entities. And those are also in Saturn as other 5D people, parasited as well. And they are, because the tulpa evil entities use the human form as a portal to access the other parts of the same soul that lives in 5D. So that is how they are taking over the Federation, using humans and Arcturians and Andromedans and whatever race people may be in the Federation as a portal. Saturn ones, in general, are not the problem. Those are just infiltrated, and they don't even know it. They have been guided without their even knowing onto placing laws that benefit a takeover from the spiritual side. And you may have whatever high density mind, say 9D, but your body is making you see one point of attention, that is the you, the ego self you hold now, as Gosha, as an example. Your body is a filter, so you can only see a very narrow spectrum of reality. But your mind and consciousness is a lot bigger and more expanded. And say a parasited Arcturian in the Federation Council in Saturn, maybe in a 5D body looking at 5D worlds as a physical place where it lives, but the mentality it may have, because it is parasited, maybe of a lower density, evil as well, and in an internal struggle, perhaps. The Tulpas are real beings if fully formed. And there is nothing spooky here, because all creatures, races, and people that exist in what you see as a physical form with a body are also Tulpas that the soul and souls associated with them have created. We are all Tulpas. Materialization of our own ideas. There is where I connect this to what I'm always saying. There is no spoon. There is no body. You are an idea. The solution to dealing with negative collective Tulpas? In theory, you can make the people as a collective manifest something different. Because you cannot go and confront a Tulpa and make it reason to your level. They would have to be interested in talking to you. Remember, communication is a two-way street. So they would only talk to you if they had something to gain. Negotiate with them? You can replace human meat with grown tissue, but how can you create synthetic fear? You can't. You can't create fear as their food artificially. Fear is only triggered from a soul. Because fear for them is the energy that nourishes them, feeds them, because it created them. And it created them because it was the conscious manifestation of a being with a soul that focused on them as something to be created in the first place. So fear is how the Creator made them. And the Creator is a soul, because only a soul with consciousness can create and manifest things. They always want more and more fear. Say, many people enjoy having a little fear, that's why they go to the movies. But it is not enough. So that is why they create wars and pandemics. They must be feasting now. There is a way from there. Only one way from there. You must stop playing the game collectively. Everything goes on because people keep playing the same sick game, and it reflects back to them all. They are making it all happen. The people, broken shoes. You must stop playing the game collectively. Believing everything they tell you, giving media and politicians your attention, not taking control of your own lives, believing in authority and obeying it blindly. I watched CNN with the Targetans, and I saw there absolutely nothing that is true. Nothing. Not even irrelevant things as before. But that is what people are programmed with.